Welcome back to Ring of Fire. I'm Mike Papantonio. The Republican Party has made their first steps towards recovery by admitting that they actually have a problem. But the party's been out of touch for so long that it might be too little too late. Joining me now to talk about the party's troubles is attorney Howard Nations. Howard, the autopsy report that the Republicans got is not good. I mean, this is a report they did of them, of what the party looks like, and they did it themselves to kind of get a picture. The picture that came out, and they have to live with this, is that they're racist, that they're sexist, that they're religious bigots, they're homophobes, they have a war against women, they have a war against youth. That was their study. This was their study where they talked to their own base. What do you do about that?
Well, if you're head of the Republican National Committee right now, you have a very difficult task at hand because you're caught in the middle between the fight with Rush Limbaugh, who's the philosophical leader of the very far right wing of the Republican Party, and the people who are trying to move it back towards a less conservative, less far right wing position. And
Howard, isn't part of the problem is that the PACs are controlling the party now? It's not the party controlling the PACs. The PACs are leading the charge. What kind of problem does that present for them in the future if they don't get under control?
Well, the problem that you have with Karl Rove raising so much money and the Koch brothers putting in so much money is that they are taking over control of the party from the state parties. And when you get into a Congress, then you don't have any roots to build on from the state party. These guys are coming in here buying out their states, and they're just demoralizing and demolishing the party because it's the far right wing against the business community, which is the super PACs.
And so what
the super PACs are winning.
What we used to have is you would have some central party decisions, but now you have a PAC that'll show up on day one and they'll come out with a particular message that's crazy, that paints the Republican Party as sexist, as racist, as anti-youth, as bigots, as anti-intellectuals. And that, unfortunately, for the Republicans, when you read this autopsy report, when you take a 97-page report that they paid for, they had their consultants look at it, and they said, guys, we are in big, big trouble because we don't have anything in common with mainstream America right now. What is the thing that moved you most when you took a look at the report?
Well, the thing that moved me most was the fact that they actually acknowledged it. But then you have to realize that the people who wrote the report are all from the group that is trying to move them back towards a more moderate position or a less far right-wing position. Unrepresented on the group that wrote the report was the far right wing, the extreme right wing. But the acknowledgement of the reality of the party is that they have given up the multiracial, multi-generational, multicultural. They've given up the minorities. They've insulted women. They've insulted people across the board. And the fact of the matter is that President Obama and the Democratic Party have moved in exactly the opposite direction, and they've built a very, very strong political progressive coalition with all those people. And it's youth versus age is the biggest single factor because the young people are completely lining up with the progressives.
Yeah, I mean, even the young Republicans are rolling their eyes and saying, what if we become? What if we become, where I'm on a college campus, they have these things called the Young Republicans where they show up on campus and they try to recruit. And apparently the pushback for young Republicans on campus recruiting is at an all-time abysmal high for the Republicans, and that's the future of the party. You've had to restructure things in so many ways. I know you restructured the National Organization for Trial Lawyers. What are the obstacles when it comes to restructuring in something as serious as this? In a minute, what are the obstacles?
Well, the obstacle that they're facing right now is the fact that you have Karl Rove with a lot of money who is actually financing campaigns against Republicans. So the obstacle they have to overcome is this internecine battle within the party. They have to absolutely get everybody on the same page in leadership before they can get any followers. No one wants to follow the mess that's going on right now in the Republican Party.
Howard, in 30 seconds, do you agree the next national elections are going to be dismal for the Republicans, no matter what they do with this report?
The next national elections will be dismal because the progressives have two things going for them. The Obama machine and the Clinton machine will be combined in the next election. They'll continue to, with their grassroots mobilization, which they've done so brilliantly, they continue to call for economic equality. And I think, frankly, that in the next election, the way they rallied around the first African-American president in the last two elections, I think that they'll be rallying around the first woman as president of the United States in the next election. That's going to fire the base.
Let's hope. Howard Nations, thanks for joining me.